All right, here are the answers to homework number 4. Check them out. Make sure you put the commas into the big numbers. Make sure you put the commas into your large numbers. All right, here we go. Problem number 1 says, in 1 year, the total amount of garbage generated in a certain country was 6 pounds. The country's population is 2. Determine the pounds of garbage produced per person. Well, if 2 people produce 6 pounds, that's 3 pounds per person. 6 divided by 2. This must be a division problem. Let's go ahead and do division. So, I would have 9.152 times 10 to the 12th divided by 3.52 times 10 to the 7th. And when I divide those, I get, you would divide this part. When you divide that part, you get 2.6. And you would subtract the exponents when you're dividing. So that would be 10 to the 5th. My final answer would be 2.6 times 10 to the 5th. Or, in standard notation, that would be 5 spots that way. That's 1, and I need 4 zeros. So 2, 6, 0, 0, 0, 0. And that would be pounds per person. Got to put units on your answer. All right, number 2. Number 2 says, country A has an area of 2 square miles. Country B has an area of 6 square miles. If the 2 countries decide to join together into a single country, how much area will they have? Well, I guess we didn't need the 6 and the 2. Clearly this is an addition problem, so I am going to add 2.57 times 10 to the 8th and 8.1 times 10 to the 8th. I'm going to go ahead and add those, and when I add them, I get 7, 6, 10. 10.67 times 10 to the 8th. Of course, that's not in scientific notation, so I'm going to go ahead and move the decimal 1 spot and make it 1.067 times 10 to the 9th. All right, as the number here gets smaller, the exponent gets bigger. And in standard notation, that would be 1.067, that's 3 spots. I need 6 more zeros. Put your commas in. Got to have the commas in the right spots. And this would be square miles? Yes, square miles. All right. We come to number 3. A scientist has 2 colonies of bacteria, A and B. Colony A, which is bigger, colony A has 6 bacteria, and colony B has 2 bacteria. The number of bacteria in colony A is how many times the number of bacteria in colony B? Well, if there's 2 here and 6 there, that is 3 times as much. All right, colony A has 3 times the amount of colony B. And you get the number 3 by taking 6 and 2 and dividing. So this is going to be a division problem. So let's get rid of the 6 and the 2, and let's go ahead and divide. This number, 9.1 times 10 to the 9th, divided by this number, 1.3 times 10 to the 7th. When you go ahead and divide 9.1 by 1.3, you get 7. And when you're dividing, you subtract the 2 exponents. 9 minus 7 is 2. So you get 7 times 10 to the 2nd, right? 7 times 10 to the 2nd. or in standard notation, that would mean I would need to start with the decimal there and move it 2 spots, being 700. And my units in this case, bacteria. Bacteria. The number of bacteria, how many times? No, it's not. The number of bacteria is how many times the number? It's 700 times as big. Times as big. There we go. Maybe you write times as much. Colony A has 700 times as much. Number 4. Number 4 says a research study reports that an average person used 490 gallons. So 490 gallons would be 4.9 times 10 to the second of gasoline per year. And there's that many people, 2.95 times 10 to the 8th. So let me read this again. A research study reports that an average person used 6 gallons of gasoline per year. If there are, oh, I'm wrong again. Got to put 2 in for the smaller number. 2 gallons of gasoline per year. If there are 6 people in the population, how many gallons of gasoline are used each year? So if 6 people each use 2 gallons of gasoline per year, that would be 12 gallons of gasoline used per year. 6 people, they each use 2. So 12, that is a multiplication problem. 12 would be gotten by multiplying 6 and 2. So let's go ahead and multiply our numbers in scientific notation. So this would be 4.9 times 10 to the second times 2.95 times 10 to the 8th. When you multiply numbers together, you multiply these guys together, and in this case you would get, what, about, I don't know, 14 maybe 0.455 times 10 to the, and you would add the exponents when you're multiplying, so that would be times 10 to the 10th. That is the answer, but it is not in scientific notation. I need to move the decimal 1 spot. So this is going to be 1.4455. And since this number is getting smaller, the exponent must get bigger by 1 spot, times 10 to the 11th. And if I want to put that in standard notation, I'm going to have to move the decimal right here. I'm going to have to move that decimal 11 spots. So there's 4 numbers to get past, and then I'm going to need 7 zeros. 1, 4, 4, 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put my commas in. There we go, 144,550,000,000. And what is my label? Let's see, if there, how many gallons of gasoline are used each year? That would be gallons. All right, number 5. Continent A has an area of, let's see which one's bigger, 2 square miles. Continent B has an area of 6 square miles. Find the difference. Find the difference means subtract. We did not need the 2 and the 6 to know that find the difference means subtract. So I'm going to subtract the bigger one. That'd be that one. Minus, I'm going to put it underneath, the smaller one. And when I subtract, the exponent stays the same. I just need to go ahead and subtract the 2 numbers. 4 minus 1 is 3. 6 minus 4 is 2. That is 0. I get 0.23 times 10 to the 6th. That, of course, is not in scientific notation. So I will move the decimal over 1 spot. and I will get 2.3 times 10 to the 6th. Or in standard notation, I would need to move the decimal past the 3 and 5 zeros. So 2, 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And that does not seem right for some reason. Huh, interesting. And that would be square miles. That is not the answer I put on the board when I gave you the answers. Let me see if I think this is right or the answer key is right. Let's see, I'm subtracting 0.3 times 10 to the 6, 2.3. This number, I forgot to change the exponent, didn't I? I am a big dummy. So let's see. As this number got bigger, the exponent needs to get smaller. So that would be a 5. And that means this is going to be 2, 3, 0, 0, 0, 0. There we go. My bad. And then, 2 more problems. In 1 year, the total gallons of water used in a certain country was this many gallons. The country's population is this many people. All right, so 6 gallons, 2 people. Determine the number of gallons of water used per person. So if there's 2 people and they use a total of 6 gallons, that would be 3 gallons per person. So how do you get 3 using 6 and 2? You divide. This must be a division problem. Let's go ahead and divide. 7.918 times 10 to the 10th divided by 2.14 times 10 to the 6th. I would go ahead and divide that part, and I think I would get 3.7. And when I'm dividing, I subtract the exponents. So that would be 10 to the 10 minus 6, which is 4. 3.7 times 10 to the 4. Or if I put it in standard notation, so I move the decimal 4 spots, it would go past the 7 and then 3 zeros, 37,000. And the units on this, the number of gallons of water used per person, that would be gallons per person, gallons per person. All right, that takes us to our last problem. A research study reports that an average person purchases 350 apples. Okay, so the directions ask me to put this in scientific notation. That would be 3.5 times 10 to the 2nd. If there are 281 million people, again, I'm supposed to put that in scientific notation. So 281 million looks like this. And I want the decimal to be right here instead of here. So I'm going to have to move the decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots. 2.81 times 10 to the 8th. Now I'm ready to do the problem. An average person purchases 2 apples per year. If there are this many 2.81 times 10 to the 8th, that'd be 6 people in the country. How many apples are purchased by the whole country? So let's see, there's 6 people. They each buy 2 apples. That's 12 apples per year. That would be 6 times 2. This is a multiplication problem. Let me go ahead and multiply these 2 numbers. 3.5 times 10 to the 2nd times 2.81 times 10 to the 8th. When I multiply these together, let's see, 3.5 times 2.81, that would be, I think, 9.835. And when I am multiplying, I take the exponents and add them. So that would be 9.835 times 10 to the 10th. Or in standard notation, I would need to move the decimal 10 spots, 1, 2, 3, and 7 zeros. 9.835 and 7 zeros. And that's a comma, comma, comma. 98 billion apples. Look at that. That's a lot of apples for the country. All right. Good job.